So what's our topic for today?
Um, do you have any specific topic in mind?
Well, I got the whole list right here. The beginner ones are Virgin Galactic Flight.
Mm-hmm.
That's about going into space as a tourist.
Mm-hmm.
Dwarf Marathon Runner.
Mm,
Oldest men in Britain.
I
They're
want
like
to
a
do
hundred.
middle level, not the beginner,
Okay.
not for the beginner.
So there's four
Uh-huh.
transparent school bags.
Mm-hmm.
You know transparent?
Oh no, yeah, I know that, but it is a bit weird to have a transparent back.
Well, that's because they want to see if you have a gun or not.
Ah.
Or maybe they'll see something else like drugs or
Oh.
alcohol or cigarettes because they want school children to
Mm-hmm.
use see-through or transparent
Mm.
backpacks.
Oh, in what country? In which country?
In my country,
Oh,
in the
have
United
you?
States,
Oh, really?
it's just a total violation of privacy
Have
and
you ever seen
autonomy.
that?
Yeah, some people use them as a fashionable statement.
Oh.
Some companies used to make their employees use them when they wanted to take things on the working floor with them, like
Mm.
money or cosmetics or ID.
I don't believe that
So
is convenient.
that way, well, they can see if you're stealing anything,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so Saudi Arabia's first opera house, charity jacket,
Mhm.
and global seed vault. Those are the intermediate ones. Then the
Mm.
advanced ones are no cell phones while traveling,
Mhm.
regulating Facebook, and health benefits of gardening.
I want to do the previous one. No cell
Which one?
phone in during travel, right?
Okay. So that's like about a company
Mhm.
that's offering travel to
Mhm.
people and they're asking them not to bring their cell phones.
Mm.
So the company uh, is called Off the Grid. Have
Off
you
the
heard
grid.
that before?
No, it's my first time.
Mm, you don't know that expression?
Yes.
It kind of means you disappear. Nobody can find you.
Oh.
So the grid is like a euphemism or a metaphor
Mhm.
for being plugged in to any kind of communication.
Mhm.
So if you're literally off the grid, that means you don't use any electricity.
Mm.
You make your own electricity.
Oh.
You use solar panels or
Wow.
windmills in your house. You use a pump to pump water from a well on your
Oh.
own property,
Wow.
or you store rainwater in a cistern and filter it yourself.
Oh.
And you don't have a telephone,
Mhm.
you don't use a cell phone, you don't log on to any internet accounts, you
Mm.
don't let anybody know your address, where you
Oh.
are, you don't
Wow.
make any communications with any government entities because they keep records of everything. So
Mm.
you don't get a driver's license, you don't buy any property, you don't apply for any government benefits, you don't,
Mm.
yeah, you're off the grid. Nobody can contact you, nobody knows who you are or where you are.
Oh, does it realistically exist?
Yeah, sure. Lots of people go off the grid.
Wow.
Just type it into the internet and as a question, how can I get off the grid? Or
Mm.
stories about people who live off the grid. And And then you'll hear stories about people who grow their own food.
Mm.
They grow their own chickens and their eggs and their own vegetables and
Oh.
fruits.
But by the
They
way,
don't
what if they
communicate.
uh oh, what if they get some kind of emergency situation?
Well, I guess, if they need hospital treatment,
Mm. Mm.
they have to either pay cash.
Mm.
Uh,
Uh-huh.
maybe they use a fake identification.
Oh.
Most hospitals will help you to
Mm-hmm.
a certain extent. So maybe they just pretend not to tell them who they are, or
Mm.
maybe, who knows?
Wow. You wanna
They're
do
more
that?
independent people. So the guy who owns this travel agency is called Zach
Mm-hmm.
Beatty, and so he wants people to enjoy the trip,
Mm-hmm.
not spend time taking selfies and a bunch of useless
Mm.
pictures. They can bring cameras,
Mm-hmm.
but he wants them to try and not always be playing video games or
Mm.
texting or watching videos or
Wow.
going on Facebook. So the first trip is they're going to go to Portugal.
Portugal? What is that?
It's a country.
Ah, Portugal.
It's
Oh,
next
I
to
know.
Spain.
Oh, yes.
Portugal.
Yes, I know.
Okay. So would you like to do that? Would you like to go on a trip and leave your cell phone at home and just say, I'm not going to contact anybody? Forget it.
Uh,
No internet, no selfies,
mm, I think it depends on the
no
long.
GPS.
But how long? I mean, how many
Well,
days? It depends on my
uh,
decision.
let's see. The trip is to Lisbon, Portugal in July, and they're going to Spain, to Barcelona, Spain, Lima, Peru, and Mexico. I think it's like a week long.
Mm-hmm.
hmm About a week long.
Wow.
So we want it to be voluntary.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be voluntary. They're not collecting your phone. They just
Um,
want you to try and leave it at home. If you want
mm,
to enjoy a real trip without the distraction of
mm,
people calling you with emergencies, asking you, oh, I need help, or your work calling you, or your family calling you, or texting you.
yeah. Mm,
So,
wow. I don't think the
yeah.
kind of travel.
Huh?
I don't like the kind of travel.
Why not?
Because I think I will get worry about my situation. Like um during while I am traveling, my family or my friends could get hurt,
hmm
but there's no way to know that.
hmm
So I
Hmm.
think um I'm gonna be kind of nervous and worried about that situation.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, that's because how old are you?
I am 27 years old now.
Okay, so you probably had a cell phone your whole life.
Yes.
Okay, well, me, I'm 50. So I had my first cell phone when I was like 25.
Oh,
Yeah.
then how long?
How long what?
How long did you have the cell phone?
What do you mean, how long did I have it? I said
Yeah.
the first time I got one was when I was 26.
Wow.
And that was like an old Motorola flip phone. It was like that thick.
Ah, I know, and really heavy, right?
Freaking huge with an antenna.
Yeah. Wow.
Of
Oh. Can you
so,
text send a text message with that?
of course. No, texting wasn't really, you probably could, but nobody in America did it. No,
Oh.
because it wasn't they weren't smartphones.
Mm.
The screen was only like this big. could only read like one or
Ah,
two lines of text.
yeah, I know, I know.
It was like, yeah. So everyone just called back then.
Mm. Ah,
Yeah. So
interesting.
that's the way it was back in the day. When I first used a telephone,
Mm-hmm.
it was a rotary dial phone. You know that?
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. And then we got push button, but we still
Yeah.
were stuck to the cord. You could only
Uh-huh.
carry the phone so far away from the wall, and the cord would be pull tight,
Ah,
and it would pop out of the wall, so you'd have to like be careful.
wow.
Then we got wireless phones.
Mm-hmm.
Then later, people got cell phones, but they were expensive, so only used it when you were out of the house. So I kept
Yeah.
the house phone.
Wow.
So, like, one time my phone got lost,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't want to buy one right away. So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have a phone for like 3 months.
Oh.
Back in 2000, I think it was 2011. Yeah.
Mm.
So I just said the heck with it, and I didn't have a phone for 3 months, and it
Didn't you
didn't
have
bother me.
any didn't
I
you
didn't
have any
care. It was
problem?
awesome because nobody could contact me, and I couldn't have to. I didn't have to feel obligated to call anybody or text anybody because
Wow.
I didn't have a phone number anymore. So
Oh.
I just said the heck with it, forget it. It was kind of nice, and then I needed to get one so I could communicate with people at work and with
Mm.
my girlfriend and stuff back then. So I
Was it?
got one,
Hmm.
but it was kind of nice not having one. I mean, I missed used it as a clock and a calculator,
Yes.
and
That's me, that's me.
yeah. But nowadays, everybody uses it to play games, listen to
Yeah,
music, watch movies,
right. Right,
search
right.
the internet, watch. So, but it's kind of distracting. I read a lot of books. Last year, I read 200 books.
Mm. Oh.
So I don't watch TV, and I hardly ever use. I mean, I use my cell phone to listen to music and videos and read stuff.
Mm.
Social
Which?
media, I send a few messages, but I text people occasionally,
Uh-huh.
maybe once a day or every other day.
Mm.
But I don't use it to call people that much.
Ah. Which
Sometimes people
phone?
call me.
Uh-huh.
Uh, how about you? Would you die without your phone? Are you that
Um,
addicted?
I think I am not addicted, but there are so many people who addicted into
Oh,
cell
really?
phone. Yes, around me. Actually, one of my coworkers always using her cell phone while working, and I
Really?
really yes.
So how can she work if she's busy on the cell phone?
Yeah, so she just delayed her work.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's terrible.
that's very annoying to me, annoying me.
Yeah. Tell me more. So she's very addicted?
Yeah, she always turn on the game while
Uh-huh.
working because she can get additional points if as long as she turn on the game.
Uh-huh.
So she always turn on the game and always texting with her friend. I don't know
Mhm.
how can she had that kind of a lot of friends, but she always texting with someone.
Oh, wow.
I think that is kind of childish.
Huh?
Um, childlike or childish.
Uh-huh.
I think childlike is a good one and childish is the bad one, right?
Say it again.
Um, the two words like childlike and childish.
Childish is like considered negative. Childlike is positive.
Mm, childlike,
If you have a
childish.
childlike curiosity, that's usually good.
Ah,
If uh
childish.
if you have a childish behavior like always having a tantrum or complaining, that's not good.
I see.
If you don't have patience, you're being childish.
Ah, okay,
Grown-ups have
so
patience.
I consider her as a childish person because she doesn't know what is important.
Oh, right, right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, how old is she?
She is even older than me. I think she is 30 years old.
Wow. And she's that,
Uh-huh.
like, childish in her mind? Does she still live with her mom and dad?
Um, I think she is living alone now.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, I cannot understand her.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yes.
I moved out and started living on my own when I was 19.
Wow, that's too young, isn't it?
No.
Or
I
is it
started
normal in?
driving. I
Uh-huh.
bought my own car when I was 16. I got
Wow.
my driver's license on my birthday, and I was working when I was 9.
Is it normal in your country?
For me, because I delivered newspapers, that was back in the
Wow.
80s, in the early
Wow.
80s, and my parents said I could do it, so it was my
Mm.
business. I bought newspapers from the newspaper company, and then I delivered them, and I charged the people the rate,
Mm.
and they paid me, and I got the profit between what the
Mm.
papers cost and what I charged the customers, and they gave me
Wow.
tips. And then I also worked for my father's construction company,
Ah.
building houses in the summer with my brothers. So I learned
Wow.
how to work hard and save money.
Oh.
Bought my own car.
But I heard that the car insurance is really expensive if someone
Yeah,
is young.
no, yeah, it was about like $40, $50 a month back then for limited liability insurance.
Mm.
Yeah, and
Wow.
my parents got me a discount because they put me on their policy.
Ah.
But I bought my own car. I went and negotiated buying it. I
Oh.
I bought it from a guy who was selling it used. First car I got was a Honda. Then I changed it, traded it back in, and then I bought a
Mm.
Toyota Corolla.
Can you buy your car without your parents?
Sure.
Um, I mean, when you
Yeah.
are teenage, if you are a
Yeah.
teenager. Wow.
Sure. Because you're allowed to have a driver's license, so
Mm-hmm.
you have to register it. You register it in your
Mm,
name.
mm,
Absolutely.
mm. Wow.
So yeah.
In my country, that is illegal. We need.
You can't get
Yes.
a driver's license when you're 16.
Oh yes, we can get the license from 19 years old. And even though
Uh,
we have a driver's license, we need to bring the parents to buy a car
what
if you
age?
are a teenager. Yes.
What age?
When you are in teenage.
What age? How old do you have to be able to buy a
Ah,
car by yourself?
we can buy a car from adult. I mean, from 20 years old.
We can buy a car from 20 years old.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, so you have to wait till you're 20?
Yes.
Wow. Why? That's in America. You're considered an adult when you're 18.
But in my country, even though we can buy a car from 20, most of 20s don't have a car because that is not normal in my country to have a car in that kind of young
It's not
age.
normal.
Yes, that
How
is
do you
not.
get around?
We usually get the car around 30 years old.
Huh? 30?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you won't even have any experience how to drive. You'll be bad drivers. You'll be like
Yeah.
crashing all the time.
Yeah. Most of
I learned
people
how to
use.
drive when I was 15 in school. They taught me how
Wow.
to drive in high school. My teacher
Wow.
taught me how to drive a car
Wow.
in high school. Don't say we can buy a car from 20.
Mhm.
If you want to use from, you have to say from the starting
Mhm.
from the age of 20 like that.
Okay, I got it. Thank you. Okay.
So that's kind of like more complicated. You want to say
Mm.
we can buy a car starting at the age of 20.
Mm.
understand?
Yeah, I see.
Or we can buy a car once we're 20 years old.
Ah, okay. Once we are 20 years old.
Right.
Okay. Got it.
Oh, got it?
Yes.
Okay. So, uh, yeah. So that's terrible. So there,
Yeah.
but how old can you, how old do you have to be before you can drink soju or beer?
That's the same. At the age of 20, we can drink and buy the alcohol.
Oh, really? But see, in America, you have to be 21.
Ah,
So it's so dumb. Like, in a lot of ways, we're given a lot of responsibility. Like, we can do something really stupid, like get married when we're 18.
yeah.
We can vote.
Mhm.
We can smoke cigarettes,
Mhm.
but we can't drink and we
Oh.
can't gamble until we're
Wow.
21.
Wow.
So it's kind of ridiculous,
Yes,
They want
right.
they're infantilizing
Mhm.
adults by saying, "No, no, you
Hmm.
can't do that." You
Yeah,
know?
right.
It's like in Europe, when you're
Mhm.
18, you can drink beer and
Mhm.
wine. You can start legally having sex when you're like 16.
Mhm. Wow.
You can get married when you're 18. You can vote. You can
Mm.
gamble. But in Canada,
Mm.
in the countries like Australia
Mhm.
and America,
Mhm.
they infantilize adults and try to keep them like children
Mhm.
when they should be growing up and being responsible for their lives and their actions,
Mm.
right?
Wow.
If I was in a job where
Mhm.
I had to work and I had no break time, no free
Mhm.
time
Mhm.
to use my cell phone, if I
Mhm.
was using my cell phone, then I would probably lose my job. So I
Mm.
wouldn't do that, like your coworker does,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So do you live on your own?
No, I am living with my family, my parents and
Okay.
my sister.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's normal in Korea?
Yes, I think so, but some of my friends live alone because their workplace and their hometown is pretty far.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, but why don't they buy a car?
Um, that's because in my country, car is the thing we cannot buy easily. We have to cost a fortune to buy a car.
Uh-huh.
So and there are so many things we need to care when we have a car. So most of young people hesitate to buy a car.
Ah,
Yes.
okay.
Hmm.
Why is it so expensive? You can buy
Uh,
a used car.
but we have a lot of doubt about the used
Huh?
car.
What?
I mean doubt.
I don't understand. Lops? Dops?
Uh, I will spell that word. I mean this one.
What? Doubt.
Yes, doubt.
You have doubt?
Yes.
Yeah, but used cars can be awesome
Oh
if
really?
they're in good condition. Yeah. Well, and when I bought my car, it was used.
Mhm.
I couldn't afford to fix things to have it repaired. So when it
Mhm.
broke, I fixed it myself. I bought a book. I
Mm.
bought tools. I bought the
Mhm.
parts from the parts store,
Mhm.
and I fixed my car.
Wow.
Because the labor charge was like 75 to
Uh-huh.
$100 per hour.
Wow, that's expensive.
So the parts are cheap.
Uh-huh.
It's the labor
Uh-huh.
to pay someone to do it that's
Uh,
expensive.
yeah, right.
So I just learned how to do it myself.
Yay. Wow.
So you have doubts. What's your doubt? What do you mean? You have doubt about used cars?
I know that many people sell a second car which have a lot of problem,
Uh-huh.
and they didn't tell about the problem before we buy a car.
Oh, okay, I got it.
We just know that the problem while using that.
Okay.
Yes.
So many people sell second car that have a lot of problems,
Yeah, right.
and they don't they don't tell you about it.
Yeah, before I buy a car because they just have to sell their car to gain the
Mhm.
money.
Mhm. I see.
Yeah.
Well, you can take it to a mechanic before you buy it and have it checked out.
Oh yeah, that's a good way, I think.
You know, there's a law in California. They have to allow you
Mm-hmm.
to take it to a mechanic
Oh
of
really?
your choice
Oh,
to have it checked.
we don't have that system now.
And of course, I would pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
And if the mechanic tells me everything that's right and wrong with it, and I'm okay with it, then I will buy it. But if there's too
Mm.
much wrong with it,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe I won't buy it. But I have to pay for the
Mm.
checkup.
Wow.
What do you think about that?
I think that's really good system for the customer, but
Yeah, of
we don't
course.
have that system now.
Oh,
So we
really?
cannot check. We just have to believe the seller's words.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Mm.
So, so you want to take somebody with you who knows a lot about cars.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
We
like
have
a
to.
guy who knows about cars. He can tell
Yeah.
you, hey, I think this car's good or not.
Yeah, right.
You called it a second car, but you want to call it a second-hand car
Ah, yeah, right. Second hand car. Okay.
or a used car.
Ah, okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
So I left you the site of Off the Grid. You can read it on Wikipedia.
Ah,
See
okay.
it?
Thank you.
Yeah. So that'll tell you a lot about it. I gotta go, but I'll see you
Okay.
next
Thank
time.
you. Bye bye.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Have a good weekend.
Okay. Thank you. You do the same.